Hello, YouTube people. Today I am going through the beans I'm going to plant this year. Now, I may pair a couple of these out. That is yet to be determined. I don't know it at this time because I do have a couple that are really similar to one another, such as like Vortex and Flood Pole. But either or. At this point, I'm still going to do all of these. So, this is what I have narrowed my collection of bean seeds, which I think the only thing I have more of is tomato seeds, honestly. I have a lot of beans. Beans are my favorite thing to grow in the garden. They're dead on easy for me to grow. I stick a seed in the soil and it grows. It's something, my dad used to grow a garden when I was a kid, and his favorite thing to grow were beans. And my favorite thing to grow, number one, are peas, actually, because peas have always been so easy for me to grow. But beans are right there with peas. So the legumes, I love them. These are a nutritional powerhouse. And if I could only grow one thing, it would be beans. So anyhow, let's get started. This is what I've gotten it down to. And I've divided the pole varieties and I've divided them. So we got the pole varieties and the bush varieties. And first we'll do the pole varieties. First up, I have Vortex, which is, of course, an heirloom. I actually got these seeds from Amazon. They're burpee seeds. A big 2-ounce package of them. So I have quite a few. They will last me several years. And it only cost me like $5 or $6. It was stupid cheap. And I got these, I want to say the year before last. But anyhow, yeah, so Vortex, that's on the list for sure. And then we have, I got these over here I need to do real quick. These are a specialty. These are the Urizen Japanese winged bean. Our greenhouse out back here, we've got one that's all covered and everything. As a matter of fact, my husband Bob had to leave for a doctor's appointment down in the Portland, Vancouver area, and he forgot to open the door. And so it's pretty warm in there, and we just put all those seeds in. He'll be home. It shouldn't take him too long. So he'll open the greenhouse door and make sure that it gets nice and watered in there, so I think everything will be fine. But in the back greenhouse, we don't have a cover on that. The greenhouse frames were great. We paid I think just over $200 a piece for the greenhouses. Frames are great. They're made out of stainless steel. My husband anchored them down into the ground with some rebar. They've held through some horrendous winds. But the covers, they didn't even last the first summer before they disintegrated. So we bought a roll of greenhouse plastic, and he put that over the top, and then he found a replacement cover on Amazon that he bought, and it was only like $79. And it came in pieces, so he was able to utilize the back piece and the front piece. So we have the door, and he, of course, bought the clips, the greenhouse clips, and it has everything all nice and secured in there. So it's really cool. So on the back one, what my idea is let's just put the greenhouse plastic cover on it, secure it with the clips, leave the ends completely open, and put bird netting across, or, rig up some kind of like makeshift gate where you could go in there and, open it easily or whatnot. And that way I could plant out beans and corn in there. And I think it will work out nicely. And the deer won't be able to get in there. And the rabbits won't be able to get in there. So I think that that'll work out nice. We're going to give it a whirl, see how it goes. So I'm going to try some winged beans. I'm very curious about those. I did try to grow them one other time. I actually got vines to grow, but they didn't produce anything. I just don't have a long enough season here. Chinese red noodle beans. I have grown the green noodle beans. I did those when we lived in the RV park up against the fence. They grew great. We got several beans. I'd like to try the red ones. So I'll, we'll get some shrog net, and I'm going to use 5-gallon grow bags to grow these things in. I've got some Mabambo green pole beans. And then this one is, I don't know, how do you say that? Kamami? That's how I think. It's from Japan. So kaimami, I don't know. But it's a pole dry bean. And it's suitable for slow cooking. That's cool. That's what I look for when I actually buy pole beans, is stuff that will taste good too. I love cool looking beans for sure. I mean, green's my favorite color. I mean, what's not to like about that bean right there? But it also has to taste good. And then I got these Adventist pole beans. And this is a new one that Baker came out for this year. And it's an 85-day, cherished by the Seventh-day Adventists. I'm trying to read this. My eyesight's horrible. In North America for its versatility and nutrition. An early maturing dry bean that can be eaten young as a snap bean. The 3-inch flat green pods contain 4 to 6 honey yellow beans each. Semi-bush habit. Semi-bush habit? Is it a pole bean or is it a bush bean? Well, I'm going to grow it as a pole bean. See what it does. These I have debated on getting for years. Love the name of them. Love the looks of them. Just have debated on them for years. And I finally bit the bullet and I ordered them. And that is the Autumn Zebra Pole Bean. Look at those. They're so pretty. And it says about these, a vibrant and colorful striped green bean or dry bean. A Japanese variety that is highly gourmet and refined. I want to try a highly gourmet and refined green bean. You bet. And then another great source for bean seeds for me is Etsy, believe it or not. And I found this store called Sylvan Roots, and they do Appalachian stuff, and I really like Appalachian stuff. And so I bought some beans from them along with some tomatoes. And I got this Fat Man pole bean. Moderately vigorous vines produce early clusters of 4.5-inch pods with exceptional sweet flavor. Provide a trellis or teepee for support. Pick pods when seeds swell, string, and cook slow for a melt-in-your-mouth tenderness. Oh, that sounds so good. I mean, a pot of beans is actually like one of my very favorite things. It really just is. There's this, it's plain, I wouldn't say plain. It's simple, it's straightforward, it's hearty, and it's just delicious, and it's really good for you too. These are a blue tip half runner. Vines produce 5-inch pods with blue tips that develop when pods are ready to pick. That's cool. I love it. Gives you a little notification. Provide a trellis or teepee for support. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. And then these ones here, these are called Coal Camp. This early heirloom bean produces pretty pink flowers in 6-inch pods borne in clusters of 2 with excellent flavor. Provide a trellis or a teepee for support. Pick pods when seeds are lumpy, de-string, and cook slow. You got it. I will do that. Thank you for the tip. These are my very first pole bean that I ever grew, and I absolutely love them because up until that time I had only grown bush beans, because as anybody who knows me knows that before we moved up here to our 50-acre Kelpie Caper farms, we lived in RV parks, and so doing bush beans was just really hard because I didn't have a lot of room and yada yada yada. But the one year, when was it? That was I want to say 2019. We had such a beautiful garden that year, and our yard was so pretty, and I absolutely loved it. And Bob made these trellises out of PVC pipe and chicken wire for me, and I actually had grown these, and I had a few of these left because I thought I would have a reliable source, and I just don't know how reliable that source is anymore. So I'm going to grow these out and save the seeds, and that is Flood pole beans. These were just awesome, and these grew Huge. And these were given to Ken Fry, who owns Forgotten Heirlooms, and that website is www.forgottenheirlooms.com. And it's given to me by friends Junior and Sydney Lowry. Flood bean, named after the 1888? Again, I'm not wearing glasses here. It's ridiculous. I have to make an appointment. My glasses are broke, so I can only put them on one side. That's ridiculous. But if I want to see, I have to wear it that way. 1888 flood in West Virginia. Pole bean will get as tall as a 2-story house. Green beans about 12 inches long, stringless when young. These, I'm not even kidding when I say we were picking green beans that were well over a foot up to about 14 or 15 inches long. They were crazy long. They were crazy delicious. That flood pole beans, those are so good. And so I highly recommend those for anybody who is wanting to grow and can get their hands on some. I'm going to grow these out. I want to do probably 3 grow bags, and I'm thinking in the 5-gallon grow bags I can do 4 plants. So that will be 12 plants, and I should get a decent number of seeds by letting those just go to seed, to where I will have some available for people after that. I'm going to put these back where they belong, because I have all my beans in there that I'm going to grow in their bean drawer. I have the rest in a big tub. And let's continue on here. Now, I cannot say that. And anybody who can, if you can say that, let me see. Haudenosaunee, Iroquois skunk beans. I think skunk beans are just stunning. Look at them. They're beautiful. I want to grow these out because I've only got a few, so I want to grow those out for seed. The same with these I've got more than a few, but these Laughing Artie greasy beans. Definitely want to grow those out. And I traded my friend Rita some Egyptian walking onions for these beans. And that's so cool. And these are an Alabama black-eyed butter bean. Butter beans are one of my favorites. I absolutely love butter beans. And so, there we go. Now, I've got packages of saved seeds of these, but I want to grow these out again. And these are the Hobbs goose bean, because I want to get a whole bunch of them and put them in a jar, and that way I want to be able to cook some. But I love these. Look at those. And those are another one. I don't know if you can get these particular ones. I don't know if Forgotten Heirlooms has them for sale or not. I would watch, and when he would put them up and have them available, I tended, if he said he only had like 4 packs left, I bought all 4 of them. There's no shame to my game. But anyways, I don't know if he has those or what. I haven't ordered from him for a couple years now. And then we got Jeff Hughes greasy cut shorts. I'm kind of curious about those. Wow, it looked like somebody just walked by. Hang on. That was bizarre. No, I think my peacock would have went off if they did. Old age psychosis, huh? We got some speckled butter beans. These are a pole bean. Those are really pretty. And see, I think by growing them under the protection like that, where it's actually going to kind of amplify it and make it more warm underneath, that I will be able to get a longer growing season, because these will not get rained on, which is way cool. That blue Shakamaxon, I don't know, but they're blue. They're really cool. I've got, I think, 3 blue varieties that I want to do this year. I grew these in 2022 and they were wonderful, and these are Etowah pole, and they grow really well here. Same with Treehoon Sunset. And I've got a lot of seeds for them, and that's fine. I will use more because they were so prolific. And so those are going to be great to grow out and save. You know, they're a black bean, and so they will be delicious. I've got some purgatory beans. Now, from what I understand, these are an Italian bean, and you cook them in a tomato-based sauce, and it's supposed to be really, really tasty. And I haven't ever grown greasy beans, but I got some minor greasy beans from Rita, and I want to try those out. And then I did a trade this year. It was a trade for stamps. You get like, what was it, 10 beans, I think, for a stamp. And she offered 4 trades, so I said I'll take all 4 of them. These are rattlesnake pull. Never grown them. Heard great things about them. Can't wait to try them. And I hear that they're very prolific. So, another one of those things. I could have bought them from Baker Creek, but I'll just trade stamps for them. I'm okay with that. Pardon me. Didn't get a drink of water here. And now we're going to move on to bush beans. Bush beans are where I have the most expertise in. Okay. A while back I did a video about how if you don't think that you can afford to grow a garden, you're wrong, because you absolutely can, because you can get seeds from the Dollar Tree. And you can. And they're very inexpensive. They are for you can see from last year to this year. Or no, these are both this year. Excuse me. But these are Blue Lake 274. I grew these last year. I will grow those every year. Those were amazing. They really were. Okay, so I've got 4 different kinds of beans here from the dollar store. From American Seed Company. These are... Wait a minute, that's a Blue Lake 74 too. So now I got 3 types. These are Tender Green Improved, bush variety. And then I have 4 packs here. And the reason I have 4 packs of these is, I'm going to go ahead and just put 2 down. These are the Cherokee Wax yellow beans. And the reason why I got so many of those is that Bob and I really, really, really love 4-bean salad. And it's really hard to find canned yellow beans for 3-bean salad. So I'm going to grow them. Now I also have these top-notch golden wax beans as well. And here is another brand of the Blue Lake bush. So I'll probably go ahead and plant these out because these are older seed and hold those for next year. Is how that's probably going to work. Let's see here. One of my favorite bush varieties for fresh eating is a Maxi Belle French Filet green bean. These are delicious. When I said we grew that really beautiful garden in 2019, this was the green bean, one of the green bean varieties. I had gotten these in a trade. I had no idea what they were. Planted them out in just a regular old pot, and oh my gosh, the beans were delicious, delicious. And I was sold on Maxi Belle thereafter. And then something that makes an appearance in my garden every single year. I never wind up saving the seeds for it, but I think I'm going to start because I'm tired of buying them. And that is dragon tongue beans. Those, I think, are my favorite bean of all. Love those dragon tongue. First year I've been growing those every year for, oh hell, at least a decade or better. And then this is another new one from Baker Creek this year, and this is called Hutterite Soup Bush Bean. And this one says, let me get them dreaded half glasses on. I feel like, like somebody using a monocle. But it says, oh Lord, it says 70 days, heirloom Hutterite variety. Fabulous soup bean of creamy texture, fine flavor, plump white beans, incomparable. Great. They look delicious. I can't wait to try those. Then my friend Julie Woodbury of Woodbury Farms in Ross, North Dakota. She sells seeds as well. And I got these tongue of fire bush beans from her. And these are kind of along the line, pattern-wise, of the dragon tongue, except for these are not the deep purple. These are pink and they're vibrant. And these are also like a, what's the word I'm looking for? They're not a Romano. Oh, Lord. It's right at the tip of my tongue. I will have to get you back to you on that. It's tongue of fire. And then there was Mama Di Nano Vigvano or something like that. And then Baker Creek had these, and they said what they were, and I can't remember. It's an Italian bean, though. And I just, for the life of me, can't remember. Call it sometimers. And my gardener got into apple gray bush beans. Now, I had bought those from Russ Crow off of his website. I still have beans for them. Bean seeds. And so I thought, hey, it might be kind of cool to plant a pot of those alongside a pot of Russ's and see if everything grows true or not. So I think that is my plan this year. Another bean that I plant out every single year without fail is Tanya's pink pod. And yes, it is a pink. It's beautiful. You cook it, it's green. But it is a pink bean. And another one that I grow out without fail is Blooming Prairie. And that has a tendency to run, so sometimes it's beneficial. You just put a stick with it and it'll crawl up the stick and it's fine. And then Calypso is a new favorite. These are also known as orca beans or yin yang beans. And they're beautiful white and black pattern. And then the Marfa. Oh, Lord, I got to put the half glasses back on. The writing is very tiny on these. And these don't have any pictures, unfortunately. But if you go to, what is their website? It is www.uprisingorganics.com. They're a farm out of Bellingham. So I am buying local. I am supporting my local businesses. Bellingham is in Northwest Washington. I'm in Southwest. These are a golden brown bean, are a classic baked in soup or with olive oil and rosemary. And oh my God, that sounds so good. So these are Marfax. They're a brown bean. And the other one is this Hungarian rice bean. And the picture they look like little grains of rice. They're very small. Creamy and delectable petite white bean, heavy producer on compact plants. Can't wait. Just cannot wait. And then, let's see here. Some more Blooming Prairie. These are ones I've saved from last year. And then it says this is a purple teepee. These came from Nicotoka. Now you can order from Nicotoka. They now require that you have a small lot permit to import back into the United States, which I do possess. But these ones are super. Purple teepee. I want to say that they mismarked these, and I think that these might be a pole bean. But I'm going to grow them out and find out. If they're purple, if they're what I think they are, they're a pole bean. And then here's a cropper teepee, no idea. But they're white bean. And then this is a green bean called Olga. Kind of a more, yeah, they're white. All right. Then we have Senate Navy soup bean. And these were actually the exact bean that were used in a recipe that made a soup for the United States Senate. And I just thought that was cool. And I want to grow them. And then same with cannellini beans. I grew those back the first year we were up here. And I want to grow those again to refresh seed. Then I have these Blue Jay Bush. And if I remember right, I think these were developed by Russ Crowe. He was the one that discovered those and isolated them. Now, I could be wrong on that. But I want to say that those were a Russ Crowe bean. Brown Eyed Bobby. These are ones that were from Rita Milburn. She is the one that isolated and developed this one. And she named these after her dad. So I want to grow those out. And then I've got a few, not very many, Red Swan. And I thought those were really cool. And I'm too cheap to spend $4 for them, but I'll trade for them. Stamp is $1. Baker Creek is like $4, so I'll be cheap. And I do have safe seeds for these Sacra Blue. See, look at how blue they get. You turn them into the light, and these are blue as blue can get. Turn them this way, they're black. Oh, they're just, these beans are so pretty. These are one of my favorites. They're like you probably wouldn't want to be doing any kind of DRUGS looking at these. These are so cool. These are a Sacra Blue. These were discovered and grown out and isolated by Lisa Bludnick of New York. And then I have these, and that's Russ Crowe sells these. His website is www.abeancollectors with an S window.com. abeancollectorswindow.com. He is the admin for Heirloom Bean Addicts Anonymous. I couldn't think of a better person to ask to be an admin for my bean group other than, probably the man that probably has one of the most comprehensive collections of bean seeds on the planet. And it's my honor to have him as an admin. And yeah, every day I'm very grateful that he said yes. Then I ordered Becca Brown. What I did is I went through his website, and if it said anything about they were a good cooking bean, I ordered them. These make good Boston baked beans. Excuse me. My throat gets really dry. Humidity's okay in here. Weird. This is another bush bean called Rose Creek Beauty. And I got these because I get everything that's named Rose because that's our dog. And now I'm on a new mission, everything Charlie, because that's our other new dog. But those are beautiful. Those are really pretty. Then we got Skunk River Trout. I got this thing. If it's it got moose, bear, skunk, porcupine in it, I want to grow it. So these are Skunk River Trout. And wait till you see these. I showed you the skunk beans. Look at these. Those are stunning. Cannot wait to grow those out. And then these are another bean that are very good to cook. And this is the last one I'm going to show you because this is the last one that I pulled out. And that is called Froh Goldbohn. German beans, I think. Or they could be Austrian, somewhere around in that area. But these are going to make an amazing soup bean. You can just tell by looking at them. They look. So we'll do a comparison grow and see. So that is what I plan on growing out as far as beans go. And a bush bean, I can put that in a 1-gallon pot. It will grow just fine. So that is what I've got growing on. How about you guys? What are you planting lately? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. And later.